What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 14 of the Hard Breach. This week we're gonna go in depth about the NA matches that happened over the last week, and we're gonna jump right into it. So the games that happened this week were a little out of the ordinary. Dark Zero didn't play at all this week, which I thought was interesting. I guess I don't have a full grasp of how the brackets or how like the play days work, but Easy didn't play this week. So the first game was SSG and Disrupt Gaming. SSG 2-1 DG. Second game was TSM and SQ, and TSM took that victory 2-0. The third game was OXG 2-1ing TSM, and then Disrupt Gaming 2-1ing Tempo Storm. Now let's just talk about those a little bit. So the first game, SSG and DG, this was actually a very good game to watch. First off, I want to point out that NJR is insane. His first season in Pro League, he had 40 plus kills. I think he had 43 kills, and he went positive 14 against the reigning champs. So for me, that is already like NJR has made his statement into Pro League, and has already kind of proved that he's here to stay. He belongs in Pro League, and he's doing his job very well. I also want to point out that this is the first time that SSG has lost Clubhouse in ever. A good 20 plus games. For me, it was kind of interesting that of all of the teams that SSG has played on Clubhouse, that Disrupt, one of the newest teams into the NA League this season, considering they just got godfathered into the NA League, I kind of want to say. Like, this is their first actual season in the NA League, well, or even in Pro League, like together as a team. And they were the team that beat them on Clubhouse. That's just blowing my mind. I also kind of want to point out that I know it's Disrupt's first season together, but for me, I think, like, apart from NJR going positive 14 and having like 43 kills, I think the most interesting stat was Retro. Retro's full support. His main ops, I believe, were Thermite and Smoke, and he was 0-7 on opening kills and opening deaths. That means that as a Thermite and Smoke, he was the first death 7 times. As a Thermite Smoke, I find it hard to like kind of wrap my head around that, how that works, how you're the first person dead 7. Like, you usually have an Ashe or a Zofia or like your Jaeger, your Vigil. Those are usually your first people dead. So to see a hard support die 7 times first is kind of mind-boggling. There was also a pretty fancy C4 that Thinking Nade did. I have dubbed it the Thinking Nade on Theme Park, and I've already seen people use it in ranked, and I want you to know that I hate you for that. I just do. The second game was TSM and SQ. TSM 2-0 at SQ. To say that I saw that one coming, I don't think so. I at least thought that this matchup was going to go the full 3 maps. I thought it was going to go 2-1, but either direction. Beaulo dropped 40 kills in 2 maps. 40 kills in 2 maps. That means he probably had over 20 kills on both maps, or almost 20 kills on both matches. That's insane. 40 kills in 2 maps. That's, I don't know where this Beaulo has been for, I would say, the last couple of games. He hasn't necessarily popped off to this extent, but the end of last season, I feel like this is the Beaulo that we saw, and this is the Beaulo that we expected to see. And to see that he's had a bit of a slower season, it's nice to see him back. He put Achieved and Geo on his back, and he carried them to victory in this game. It's also nice to see that Gomfy, this was Gomfy's second game back after actually getting his visa, and to see him top fragging on that roster is good. And Iconics also up there with him. So to see that Gomfy and Iconic are also doing very well, considering this is also Iconic's first season in NA League, Pro League, whatever it is, to see that he's also kind of up there with NJR, and this being like his first actual competitive league, and to see that he is performing as well as he is, it's nice to see. Um, the third game was OXG and TSM. OXG, I believe, is the first team in NA to actually guarantee their top 3 spot, and I believe snag a major spot. I believe that getting and like confirming your top 3 means you have a guaranteed upcoming major spot. I think that's how that works. But I just want to point out that OXG overall for this entire first split has looked pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie, at the when they first announced that they were playing with Bio and Slash, I was hesitant to believe that this team would work well together. I mean, I guess it's no shade towards Bio and Slash. It's more just a matter of I didn't see that team chemistry actually being there, but from what I have seen lately, I think the chemistry's there. Like if you actually go through and if you scroll through the clip pages of the Rainbow Six Twitch, you don't really see any like Foxo went insane or Lax went insane this game. Like the clips that you saw with the OXG and TSM matchup were OXG literally as a group, as a whole, shutting down TSM. Like there would usually be like 4 or 5 people on OXG still alive, and TSM, like you literally just see like the kill feed is TSM dropping like flies. And it's nice to see that OXG actually has that matchup and that chemistry to do as well as they are doing. On the other hand, TSM, I'm still 50-50. I know they just 2-0'd SQ, but then they turn around in this game and I feel like they're struggling again. I don't know if the same TSM carried over to this week, but it's been kind of hard to see TSM as like a consistent team. I want to say that like the biggest stat line for this game for me was Merc being an entry and going 14-27. That's not usually something you see as an entry, but I'm hoping that in their next matchup or in their upcoming matchups, all of them, I hope Merc is somehow able to fix what he needs to fix and he's able to improve off of it, because TSM they haven't been the TSM that we saw last season. They're not I don't think they're the second place TSM or the TSM that we saw when DreamHack Montreal. I mean, they had Jarvis at the time, but I don't think this is like the same group of guys that we saw going absolutely Super Saiyan and like single-handedly taking down rosters. It kind of sucks to see, but I hope they find their footing and I hope they manage to come back. And then the very last game that happened was DG and 2-1 or DG 2-1 in Tempo Storm. This game, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of bored while watching this game. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way. So I feel like this game was boring because it wasn't really a frag fest. It wasn't really, like one person on this team is going absolutely insane or one person on the other team is going absolutely insane. Like nobody on either roster for this team actually like popped off or like single-handedly carried their team or had an exponentially more amount of kills than somebody else on their team. Like there was none of that. Everybody on both sides of the rosters were average. Like the fraggers were at the top. The support players were a little negative, but they got their bomb plants. They did what they needed to do, and I feel like that was the basics of Siege. I don't know. It was interesting. It was also nice to see Shuttle at the top for Disrupt instead of NJR, but it's still nice to see that NJR is still performing. On the other hand, Tempo has yet to win a game. Tempo has yet to win an actual matchup. And that sucks to see because if you watched a couple episodes back, we talked about Tempo a little bit and how people were like, oh, if Tempo performs the same way they do in scrims, they're going to be one of the best rosters. But now it's Tempo hasn't won a game yet, and they're at the very bottom. Usually after winning a map 7-1, because Tempo took a map off of Disrupt, and they did 7-1 them. Usually after like a win like that, you have the momentum to swing into the next map and perform. Like usually that momentum you have from the 7-1 is what like fuels your fire to keep going. Like it encourages you to keep driving, keep pushing, and actually get that win. But Tempo, they can't finish. They can't finish. That's about the result of Tempo Storm that I've seen in every single matchup they've had so far. Is they cannot close out. They can't finish. They can't actually get those like last 1 or 2 winning rounds that they need to take the map. And I don't know how to fix that problem. I don't know if they know how to fix that problem, but Lord, they better hope they figure something out, because it's hard to see. But with that is a basic recap of the entire NA league that happened this week. I'm kind of sad that Dark Zero didn't play this week, but we got to see TSM twice, so it was kind of cool. But with that, like always, I'm your host, Lauren Goddess Williams, and you've just been breached.